This is called Just Press Play. Gary Lupico was no bullshit. That's really the first thing that comes to my mind. The next thing is that he was the best songwriter Cleveland ever had. His songs are funny, but the punchline is usually that the joke is no joke. When Russell called to tell me he had died, I felt like I'd dropped something. It's so out of your hands, and despite your feelings. Like most of us, I couldn't think of anything to say, and said so. It was a way of apologizing to Russell, I guess, or to Gary. I was apologizing for not feeling more, or for not feeling what I thought I was supposed to feel. But death is a hole in what we know, if anything is. And after a while, I realized I'd just been staring at the hole. It's hard for me to absorb the reality of it, especially because I didn't see Gary much. It's hard to tell exactly what's different today from a week ago. But that's because we don't hold each other in our hands, but in our heads, which doesn't change. The only value in this is the reminder that life is precious, which feels selfish at first, but it's the thought we all have whether we want it or not. And as Tony Maimone said to me the night Gary died, we honor the memories of the dead by how we live our lives. It's some consolation to remember what all of Gary's friends knew, which is that he was happy with his life in Texas, with his valiant Lynn when he died. How many people can you say that about? Also, he loved and was loved by his friends who were family to him. People like Russell Sherman, Karen Rosselli, Guy DeLillo and Melanie Allen, Tony Maimone, Cindy Barber, Jeff Bennick, Chris Yarmock, Brian Cox, Danny and Greta Patricic, Mark Stevie, and many, many others. Russell said an affecting thing when he called. He was in Dripping Springs a few weeks ago with Jeff and Brian doing some recording with Gary. He said, I had plans for that guy. Russell and Tony flew down to Texas right away to be with Lynn. Tony says that when he walked into Gary's studio, the board was still on. Just press play. I'm not going to synopsize Gary. It's a way to be done with him. And like Russell was saying, I'm not done with him. Though his song titles bear repeating. Let's Get Drunk and Talk About It. I Can't Remember Where I Lost My Mind. Elvis and Jesus and Me. Who Died and Left You, Marilyn Monroe? Keep the home fries burning, baby. Am I on your shit list, Jesus? Ordinary Mysteries. And My Heart's the Biggest Truck Stop in the World. More importantly, the songs bear replaying. Unlike most country songs, Gary's songs were better than the titles. Usually they transcended the form they parodied. They were big enough to live in. One thing I've found helpful over the past few days is listening to those songs. Less for sentimental reasons than because there's a lot of courage and acceptance and sanity in them. There's a lot of life in them. Again, I don't want to sum up his life. It feels untrue to life. That was Gary's job anyway, and he did a pretty good job of it on his own. I was looking through some papers the other day and found a poem I wrote 10 years ago called The Fiddler to the Drum for Gary Lupico. It's not a very good poem, and I doubt I ever showed it to him. But I was listening to one of the Speedbag CDs when I uncovered the following lines. Think back. The past is strewn with weathers. You get these glimpses of a person's soul, and that's all you need remember. Water on the windshield. Hit the wipers. See if more's forthcoming. On Sunday, I was trying to think of people I could tell to listen to a few of Gary's songs on CD or tape so that I'd know they were being played. I was hearing his songs playing here and there around the country. Then I was talking to Jim Crane, a friend of ours, a journalist back in the States after a long assignment in Iraq. He said, Gary was emailing me when I was over there about politics and Iraq. It's like he was looking at the big picture and I was seeing the small picture. I used to read his emails to people in the news bureau. because he'd always have something penetrating to say. Interesting way of looking at things. I was listening to those songs in Baghdad all the time. They were blaring out of the Paradise Hotel. They probably drowned out a few mortar shells. My girlfriend and I plugged in the iPod and listened to them in Sri Lanka. I probably heard those songs in Cyprus this summer. Last time I heard him was in London. I was jogging in Brixton. I found the following lines in a poem by Ted Berrigan, a poet, incidentally, whom Gary resembled. The heart stops briefly when someone dies. A quick pain as you hear the news and someone passes from your outside life to inside. Slowly the heart adjusts to its new weight, and slowly everything continues sanely. Saturday and Sunday I was listening, a little at a time, to a tape of Gary on the radio with his Holy Firewater Revival lineup. The phone would ring, one of Gary's friends calling, and I'd turn the music off. So it took me a couple of days to get through. As I was leaving the house on Sunday, still looking for a way to end this, I put on my coat and the tape ended with Gary saying, "That's it, see you in church." And here we are. Okay, this is called Adventures in Music.
so Bob Kidney's next. He's gonna come up and lay down the law.
Take these plates of steel and make up the blanket for my bed. I'm being washed away, and my wheel holds on no longer.
I was gonna say,
I'll just let go to where no one can follow.
Okay,